Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are, whoever you are. This is yours truly, the Grand Queen, welcoming you to Just Stop It. We got a good one for you tonight. And listen, we're glad that you're with us tonight. And we are at another Sunday night and a new month. So happy new month. Happy new month. Happy new day to everyone passing through and joining us tonight. Uh, I'm just so excited. It's February, it's the love month, and it is also Black History Month. Well, listen, Black history is every day, all day. In my mind, we don't have to wait until February for Black history. I'm just saying, we are making new history at that. So here we are at the Just Stop It show. So please, we just thank you for hanging out with us, and we just like to remind you to share a friendly reminder that we are not a medical advisory. We do not advise anything medically. We are consultants and we share valid information with you. Anything that pertains to your well-being, your overall well-being, your mental health, your financial health, your spiritual health, any of those things, anything pertaining to you and wellness, you should seek professional help. Again, we are not a medical facility. We do not facilitate medical, we do not share medical advice. We will share links to things that are valid and to help you gain a better perspective in your life. But please make sure that you view our disclaimer always, right? And again, uh, we are about changing the narrative on how mental health is discussed, on how mental health support is advocated. That's what we're about and more. So again, we're glad you came through tonight to Just Stop It, and we are called Just Stop It because we are bringing awareness to every politician, to our local community leaders, to every city and state agency, to people for that matter, that things can change, to just change some of the laws that are written that are reducing our mental health. I'm just saying. So here we are, and we've got our hot spots of the show tonight. So again, I am the Grand Queen, your host, and we've got our co-host, our Shannon Grace Chappelle, in the house, the opulent one,
Hey,
our opulent one in the house tonight. There
hello,
she is. There she is.
hello,
And
hello,
we've
hello.
got our hotspot, another hotspot of the show, our media producer with the JTI fam. There he
Hey
is.
y'all. Hey
Hey,
everybody.
Tron.
What's up?
Absolutely,
Stop.
absolutely. And listen, we've been having a time here
Mm-hmm.
on the show and outside of the show because we welcome experiences, testimonies, because that's what makes life go around. That's what makes the world go
Mm-hmm.
around. Experiences, testimonies, together with valid information and more. That's how we take the lead in our lives and
Yes.
ask questions. Some people don't ask questions, but that's okay. Learn to ask some questions and seek some answers. So we was rocking. Here we are rocking in Black History Month. This is our first Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
Black
Indeed.
History Month, and
Like it's
and as
tomorrow.
we are making new history, we changing the game on history, across generations, across the world, every city, every state, every country. We talked about last week. We've been talking ongoing about accountability, and the poet from the galaxy of poets from the poet has
Mm-hmm.
spoken,
Mm-hmm.
that phenomenal family, the Galaxy family, just brought it to our attention about accountability, women and accountability, talking about how it ties into domestic violence, just behavior. In other words, how we treat each other. Our
Mm-hmm.
men are many times held more accountable than women, um, for some reason in this world. And the way I believe it's the way people have been reared. I believe it has to do with religious beliefs and cultural habits and of the sort. Um, Now, the question that we were asking, are women equally accountable as men are concerning mental wellness? Many times, now I had a little experience this week, and I gotta share that with y'all. I gotta share that
Mm-hmm.
this is a everybody moment that I had. And I was like, it was past the Scooby-Doo moment. So I was like, okay. The question came to me, are women equally accountable as men concerning mental wellness, mental health? So how it happened, it just so happened, it came to my mind sometimes when we are, because, trauma, we talked about why women and men do what they do because of trauma. They've been traumatized by something happened to them, and continually it was bad and it happened to them, but there was no intervention or prevention. And so they brought it over into a relationship. I'm just trying to make the connection. So anyway, it happened. This person that I was forming a relationship with to buy a home. And this is a realtor. I'm going to go anonymously on it, but I believe I could talk about it because of the experience, and I want to know the accountability of this person. This is a very interesting person who is making money in the realty business. Decided the verbal, the connection, the conversation that was had with this person to go to the next level, not to buy a house, but to look at a house. Right. So before I went to a whole nother county yesterday. I was out for the day. Right. I went to another county, set up the appointment to go and view a house, to do a walkthrough. Simple. Usually I would ask the person if they could do like a video, if we could video chat with the seller, so I could see things in that, as the first step. And then I would come, actually go to the property. But instead I did it in the reversal. And I don't usually do it like that, but because this person said this was the only time that she had, but she didn't want to do it like that. She didn't value it. I shared that with her from the gate on several occasions, but she didn't remember, because something that you value, you remember it. You know what I mean? And particularly when you're dealing with consumers, you remember those consumers, and you should treat every consumer as equal. However, I made arrangements to go to this county, to the next county, to view the house. The arrangements that was made, the person couldn't make it to take me there, to share the ride to take me there. So I took a alternative route. I took the train. And that, in another sense, was another experience. But anyway, when I got there, she claimed, and this was, I believe it was an open house. It was already arranged for the seller to show the house. At the same time, she could have vouched for me and said, okay, she's on the way. Can you just wait? When I spoke with her, she was reprimanding me like I was her child. Like, you're infringing on somebody else's property. You're infringing on somebody else's time. Why are you late? You have no business being late. I'm here waiting. I have other things to do. And then she went into some other stuff, and I was like, wow, I was taken back. I was taken back because she dealt with me as though she didn't know me. She dealt with me as though I was just like another number. And I was really surprised, because I thought we had a rapport, is what I'm saying. When you think you have like a rapport with a person, then you believe you can go to the next level with something as simple, even though it was an appointment and of the store. She could have vouched for me. She's a realtor, for God's sake, is what I'm saying. You're a realtor. You know the verbiage between you and the seller, even though you're representing the buyer. You know the verbiage to make the seller calm down and say, listen, let's do this, and things like that. At the same time, she knew the length and the extension that I came to get there. And on top of that, didn't even offer the thing to make it easy. Say, okay, let me pick you up at the station. Not. Not. So that part right there really stretched my brain when it came to accountability. Like, where did she get this negativity from? And she was, like I said, in her wording and her behavior, she was just like, I don't care. She was just like an I don't care tip. And I was really like not surprised because of other things, is what I'm saying. Like, where is this coming from? I have to say that if somebody behaves like that, then definitely they're still healing from a previous relationship, or they are still passing through something from that relationship. The problem I had with that is, sometimes when women are like that, they will pass it on to the next person, be it man or woman. And just think if they're in a relationship with a male, with our male counterparts, how that thing plays out. In my experience, they must learn to be accountable, even if they're hurting. Even if they're hurting, even because if they're hurting, they will tend to exploit others and maybe not even know it. Just like we always say, a person could be having like a breakdown, having a mental moment, spiraling moment, and they don't even know what's happening to them. I believe the same thing when it comes to accountability, that sometimes women, and they may be mentally abusive and then go and it ties into physical abuse. They may not know where it came from, and let alone where they're going with it. So yeah, it's a concerning. It was really a concerning moment. I was like, wow. And just think, I hadn't even signed on a dotted line. I'm just saying. I hadn't even signed on a dotted line, and which is a good thing. I was glad that I found out early in the game. It's just with our women. When does it? When are they going to learn to become accountable? What seems minute to some could really stretch out to be a mountain. It can start from mold here, a little mole. I don't even know how moles happen on the skin and the face, or a mole and can really just expand. And then I'm like, wow, how do we deal with this in our history? We are Black, we are people of color, and this is a person of color. And I'm like, wow, that has to stop, because it will carry over into a relationship with anybody, let alone our male counterparts. And I said that to say this, that our women, we are the ones who help to heal. We are the ones who help motivate the healing process. And how do we stop it? How do we stop it? How do we help our women to become accountable for the words that they say? This doesn't apply to all of our women, because we have good women and we have great men out there. It's just that we need each other, just like we need the air to breathe. And how do we help folks to be accountable for their actions, especially verbally? Verbal abuse is wicked, let alone physically abusing a person, let a woman physically abusing a man, and then he not being able to feel like he can speak about it. He should be able to speak about it, because it takes two people to tango. When it started, where did it start, and why? So yeah. So that's my hot take on it.
Wow.
For this week. Yeah. And I had to speak about that, what we gonna do?
There's a lot
Like they said
Yeah.
in The Color Purple, what we gonna do, Silly?
Right now.
Yeah, because that was abuse. That was about abuse. Yeah. So what y'all say? How do we help people become women? How do women become accountable? Our women of color, and this is Black History Month. We have so much that has caused us to, wow, so many things that has caused women to do what they do, to say what they say, when they say it. In the moment it happens. In the moment, like, how do we stop it? How do we help people to become accountable? And okay, DJ, Mr. Woo-Boo, Mr. DJ, all right, what we talking about? All right, we're talking about accountability. How are women equally accountable as men are concerning mental wellness? In other words, are women accountable for their behavior? Should they be physically abusing men? Is there a reality check? Do women physically abuse men? And it's yes to all the above. So what y'all say?
Oh God, there's so much to unpack there.
Oh yeah.
Let's just start with your situation, because I was listening very closely. Let's be honest. We don't treat each other the way that we should treat each other, with respect anyway. And we go into situations projecting how we feel. It could have been something at home. It could have been what's going on in life. It could have been a variety of things to her reaction to it. If it's already established that you were on your way, I mean, what else is there supposed to be in knowing your situation in particular, right?
Exactly.
But you wanna look at this whole thing. First, like I said, we don't treat each other with the respect that we should treat each other, but we will be more inclined to treat our counterparts very differently. Okay.
Right. Very true.
And I can say this, to be really honest. I remember being, at the metro, here in our area, and needing help, and the station manager, whoever was attending that station, was not quick to help me, um, with my or whatever I needed. And they were really quick to help the other people. Let's just say other people.
Right.
So we just treat each other badly. I'm seeing more. I'm
Wow.
seeing more of that on now. Now let's get to what we were talking about before, as far as women and accountability. There is none. There
Wow.
is none.
Wow.
Period. And then when you talk in terms of abuse,
My goodness.
as far as men and men experiencing verbal abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, you know, that accountability factor, as far as on her end, really isn't there. Now, we automatically
Yeah.
think that maybe that man has done something to her. We see the woman as the weaker vessel, right? We see that she's not capable of doing such things. But when
Yeah.
she does it to him, here's the double standard. When she does it to him, he's automatically deemed as being what the older folks used to say, henpecked, or weak, a weak man, right?
Wow. Wow.
And then it's laughed about. It's laughed about. I have
My God.
known women that have physically attacked men, and it was like a kiki ha ha thing. But we know that if the
Wow.
shoe was on the other foot, then he can go to jail. He go to
Yeah.
jail
Yeah.
if the police
Yeah.
are called. So that's one
Exactly.
example of, to me, that's one example right there of how the double standard is so far in there. And one
It
thing I had
is.
told Trayvon the other day, I said, um, I like to watch a lot of true crime and everything, and I was telling you about Lizzie Borden, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Oh yeah.
um,
Yes.
Wow.
which was a famous murder case in the 1800s. Really, she did not get prosecuted or convicted because in that day and time, it was just unfathomable to imagine that a woman could do such a heinous crime. So
Right.
really,
Mm.
her gender saved her
Wow.
in that case. It saved her.
Wow.
It saved
I
her in
Wow.
remember
that
you talking
case.
to me about that. Yeah.
Because it was an all
Exactly.
male jury. Because to me, that's a good example of how things can happen. But people say, "Oh no, not her. You must have done
Wow.
something to her, or
Wow.
it's a reason that she hit him." But when nobody should be hitting anybody, we're not children.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nobody should be attacking anybody. And the countless times I have
Yeah.
read stories of women committing murder toward men,
Wow.
killing them,
Wow.
and she has a
Wow.
DJ
yeah,
DJ Slicky.
you know,
DJ Slicky
she's
is
a
old school now. He
she's a
don't.
live.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh, she
yeah,
the
you could.
whoop. Okay.
Oh yeah, you
A
could
little booty there.
Right.
you
Yeah.
could not do that. You know what I mean? Oh, you must have done something to her.
Uh-huh.
No, no,
Uh-huh.
she shouldn't be
Uh-huh.
chasing you around with a weapon. Period.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So we just
Yeah, that's
lost so much
somebody's son.
respect for each other. We lost so much
Yeah.
respect for each other, and
Yeah.
I know in our community that it's just ridiculous.
It really
It's
Yeah.
is.
ridiculous
So
for
is it
common
safe to
things.
say it's culture? Is culturally acceptable? Because
Uh-huh.
I heard a comedian. She said, well, this is her take. She said on accountability. She said
Uh-huh.
people in her generation could cook and split. She
Yeah.
was on on the Sherry show. She said people in her generation. I believe she's the what is it, the boomers, or actually she's
Uh-huh.
Generation Z, I believe,
Hey,
Uh-huh.
Miss
in her
Michelle.
generation.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, folks. Thank you, family,
Yeah, Miss
coming
Coming
Michelle
through.
in.
Pucciarelli stepping in. One of my
All right,
comedian friends stepping
Thank
in.
you.
all
Thank you.
right,
Thank
all
Thank
you.
right
you and
now.
Slicky for watching. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you, you guys. Yeah, she said she's a comedian too. She said her generation, she said women, she says she and her friends and them, they can cook and split, and
Yeah.
exercise. Well, she said she could cook. She said she could cook and
Uh-huh.
she could split. She said some of
Uh-huh.
her friends could cook, but they can't split. She said in the
Uh-huh.
younger generation, they can't cook and they can't split. So I'm just saying, when it
Uh-huh.
comes to accountability and of the sort, and there is none, it seems like
None.
it is really normalized in because of cultural practices and
Uh-huh.
acceptability. It is unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's time to say stop. Just what?
Uh-huh.
Just stop it.
Stop it.
Yes, opulent one. Yes,
And
opulent one.
it's a normal thing. I say this too. It's a normal thing. Yeah, true. Hey, true enough. DJ, I say didn't say that. Sir, you had some women that hey, they will run up on a dude and they can defend themselves and do everything else and can roll like a man.
Right.
However,
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
still in that society, and people sometimes still think that. You know,
Yeah,
that that
Right.
that,
yeah.
that woman, that poor woman, she ain't gonna do that. She doesn't do things like that. But some of them go just as hard as a dude,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
or
yeah.
harder, or
Apparently
harder.
Very
somebody
true.
uh apparently somebody struck some lady had struck DJ Slicky with a bag of coins. He said I remember this lady hit me with a bag of coins. I
Oh
want to know
wow.
what happened
I
in
believe
its
it.
entirety. What happened in
Oh
the
wow. I hadn't
situation?
heard.
That
But
Right?
you see
I
there,
hadn't heard that
see what you
move in a
did,
while. A
Aaron?
bag of nickels.
right.
You see what you did right there, though?
No, but
You had
I
to,
want to hear it regardless. I don't care. I
yeah,
don't care what the situation. That's the thing.
yeah.
People got a
A
bias.
bag of
So
nickels. Wow,
yeah, people
wow.
have a
Well, we gonna
You
bias.
tell we
know,
gonna tell the
that's
whole story.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's somebody's you got to be careful. That's somebody's son and somebody's daughter that they're in a relationship with, whether it's a neighbor,
Yeah.
whether it's interpersonal, whether it's intergenerational, multi-generational. You're talking about again accountability and where does it stop? And also to remind, just being mindful tonight. I just
Uh-huh.
need to pop a little scripture in there. We're talking about being free, looking at the birds, free and unfettered, not tied down to anyone or one thing, um, just being carefree, but also acknowledging and counting we are counted far more than the birds. Back in certain countries, certain things are held as a commodity. We ourselves as people of color, this is why we had Black history. We are making history. We ourselves were held as a what? A commodity. We ourselves were
Yeah.
held as chattel, sold and branded day to day. Our children, our babies, even before our babies were born, as soon as they knew the child was conceived, it was marketed. So here we are talking about accountability. All those things have to stop because we are deemed more valuable because of our creativity. Our creativity is unleashed with good mental health support. According to Matthew 6:25, again, we are worth more than birds. And thank God for nature because we really learn how to behave through nature. However, we have to put a cap on it. There's a stop and a go with everything. There's a modification in everything. So tonight we ask that you keep it clean. Don't be mean. Keep it clean because we want to move on to higher. We are
Yeah.
all leveling up together, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, so that bag of
Indeed, we
nickels, I
are.
would like to know how that went too, because that's an old school
Yeah.
move.
Bag
Carry a
of
bag of
nickels.
nickels. My parents didn't used to talk about that. I'm like, why they carrying a bag of nickels?
It was
Right.
soft.
It was for protection. You don't want to carry a knife. You don't want to knife up. And now here we are. What we do legally, we lawyer up. So now we
Right.
Yeah.
got to learn the law. We have to learn what the laws are all about because technically the court system is not set to protect us if we don't understand the language because it's
Uh-uh.
really corporate language. It's set to speak to the corporation. The corporation is the court, and city and state agencies, they are the corporation speaking to each other. So this is why you need lawyers to interpret. So yeah, we got to
Uh-huh.
keep lawyering up and understanding these laws and get them to change. And then I believe that's when we hopefully become accountable. You
Yeah.
know, DJ, he want the link, y'all.
He got something to say.
I know that's right.
He want the link, y'all.
I know that's right.
Yeah. All right now, producer. So yeah, so this is a hot topic. So yes, you guys just come on through because we've got to find out how to change the game, how to change your mindset. It's all about the mindset of accountability. We got to change that no to yes. We got to
Right.
change some of the no's to no because technically a no is a no, right? But you got to have a valid no and a valid yes.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So it's good. We see people chiming in. That's good. Woohoo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because this way we'll make new history. What you
That
say?
part.
What you say, Trey? What you say on all of this? Because I know, no, this is hard. This is hard for our males. We got to make it easier.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
What you say on this, Trey?
the subject is so open that we need to break it down into pieces.
Yeah.
It's too large of a subject to attack in a conversation.
Yeah, it's broad.
I didn't say too much this show because I just I would love I love hearing what people have to say and what people think, but
Yeah, it's broad.
it's something that needs to be approached in steps. I would say that.
I agree.
It's not a just a quick. I don't really know what to say unless somebody has a formal question. To be honest, because
it's heavy.
Most of my life, the subject didn't matter until just now. So
yeah. It's really heavy.
I have nothing to really say, to be honest.
Exactly.
If someone has a question, as me being a guy, if somebody has a question for me or that they think of or want to know or want my take on, that'll help me. But other than that,
exactly.
it's a general conversation for me. So I'm just participating and being a part of the segment.
Well,
it's really broad.
Have you experienced, in your years so far, anyone having I guess maybe experiencing some type of abuse from a female? Have you ever come across that?
It is often okay. Females have a way. This is not. This is an instinct thing. This is a mind thing. Just my observance. Have a way of making things like painting a different picture of something. I've experienced firsthand gaslighting. So someone making you paint a picture for you, but then making you think there's the picture isn't there. I don't know. Like it was just never. I don't know. So people I deal with people claiming that they want certain things or want certain things to be a certain way, but then at the same time, contradict themselves by weaponizing your faults, maybe things that you can or cannot do.
Right.
I would say, I guess as a guy, the women that are in your lives matter more than I guess it is displayed. When your cup is empty, I'm not gonna cuss obviously, but what the heck is anybody looking for?
Right.
When you have nothing left. So it's nobody's cared until now. Nobody's asked me until now. So that's why I just didn't have nothing to say because it's nice that it's a topic of conversation, but nobody cared until literally 8:31 at night. So
exactly.
So men are stronger, but men are naturally weak to the women that are in their lives. It doesn't matter it doesn't even matter what his actions are on the outside if you don't investigate what's under the surface. You have to dig. You have to want to understand. I think it was social media that I'll blame, I guess, because people don't even if you want to dial it back, don't even court anymore. They don't truly court each other and truly understand each other, truly nothing is true anymore. So everything is so in disarray that unless we're chopping it down into simple subjects or breaking it down into smaller pieces, I can't. It's too broad of a thing to speak on. But to dial back to your question though, yes, Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey,
Especially
Kenneth.
those in power, those that
Absolutely.
have power under their
Absolutely.
belt. Um,
Yeah.
we're already fighting our own women in the first place, our own, aunts, our own cousins, mothers, whatever it may be, but we're fighting each other as people. So
Yeah.
I don't know what anyone is looking for,
Mhm.
unless we're really going to get into those subjects that are really going to clear the way and have us understand each other.
Mhm.
Like I was saying to the poet, for instance, and I'll wrap it up. But what I was saying to the poet was that I wish that we can have some type of seminar, some type of segment or something where everybody has to come in. If you don't agree to put this piece of tape over your mouth, then you cannot walk in these doors, because when you sit
Yeah.
down and listen, everybody needs to close their mouth and shut up.
Tape it.
And
Yeah.
I'm serious, and I'm very
Tape it.
Yeah.
serious.
Oh
Tape
no,
it.
Everybody needs to
I
listen,
agree with
because
you.
there's not everybody wants to feel heard, which is completely
Yeah.
understood. But we have
It's.
forces like things that are put in front of us as
Mhm.
distractions and things like that that have us not focused. Because when I was speaking of Black history, you know, I watched a
Mhm.
lot of Black history. I've seen a lot of women and men of color work together to get a lot of things done. So we're more so looking at what's going on now than we were looking at what's going on before, because I've seen there's a slew of history of us doing
Mhm.
those things together. So I know it can be done. I know it's possible. I know it's there. But
Mhm.
I would like for us to break this down into smaller segments for me to be able to like answer anything specific, really. But yes, I
But
have
you, but
experienced,
you,
that.
but you know what, Trayvon, with that is when I say certain things, and we've had conversations and stuff too, just in general, right? I speak from knowing that there are some.
Hey,
If
Kenneth.
you say,
Hey,
if you
Kenneth.
if you
Yeah.
say as hey Kenneth, if you say as far as women, there definitely are some things that um we can do better, and we can do better to support each other. And
Right.
I just see the hate. I'm a big social media person, so I'm looking at discussions and stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to make anything better, what I don't see that we're doing and we're capable of doing is we're not being honest. And every time someone's honesty and truth comes out to say, all right, this is what I see is the problem, or this is
Right.
how we feel, it's immediately attacked.
Right.
So if I'm having a conversation with you to try to resolve a problem, if I'm not hearing you and you're not hearing me, or at least even if you don't agree with it, even if you don't agree with it, to say,
Right.
okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. I didn't know, but to hear what someone else is saying and learning from it to get better perspective. If you're going to automatically be like, well, that's not true, you know,
Wow.
or
Right.
and sometimes projecting how you feel about that person or that situation or that group of
Right.
people, you come in the gate with that in the conversation that you're supposed to have, then nobody's listening to anybody. So all you're doing is
Yeah.
going back and forth.
Well,
Wow.
hence
That's
the
all
reason
you're
for
doing.
the tape. Hence the reason for the tape. When you come
The
into
tape.
there is no
So
option,
what?
and unless you're
Because you
talking, there is no
you get to
option.
talk, you get to
Wow.
talking.
Wow.
It's like I'm talking to you. You talk well, and I say, Trayvon, you made what you said made me feel bad. Well, no, it didn't.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Wow.
You how do you get anywhere with that? So I think a big part of
Yeah.
it is, and I like that tape over the mouth. Some people need to put two pieces of tape on their mouth.
Well,
Those
we're
those are
gonna
serious red flags.
we just
Uh huh.
stop and do believe in being and prepped and ready. So we will have
Yeah.
multiple rolls of tape, plenty for anybody who chooses to join our seminar.
Yeah. And
So
some
there will be
people
no
just bring their
issue
own
with you.
tape.
Yeah, there's no issue with you being able to speak or not speak, because when it's not your turn, that I'm gonna figure out in a year how to do
Yeah.
something
Uh huh.
like that.
And
Absolutely.
listen.
Might
Absolutely.
be a
Yeah.
metaphorically, but
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
listen.
That'll be a great event.
Listen. Yeah.
Hmm.
Listen to
Uh-huh.
me. Listen to what
Hmm.
what each other is saying, and stop
Hmm.
coming in hateful out the gate. That's not going to
I
Wow.
don't.
resolve nothing.
I don't know if y'all
Nothing.
Absolutely.
ever been I don't know if y'all ever been to a silent party before where
No.
everyone in the room,
Oh
well,
no, I
I
haven't.
have one time. So when I was younger, we had silent party, but everyone in
Uh
the room has the DJ is synced to everyone's ear headphones. So if you don't have headphones in, the room is
huh.
dead silent.
Yeah.
So I'm saying if we were to do some type of event like that, maybe the person holding the microphone, everyone hears the person with the microphone in their ears. So the only
Yes.
person that's actually heard is the person with the
Uh-huh.
microphone. So I'm gonna try to figure out
That's a
something
good idea.
to
I'll come.
create, you know,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. That's a great
to do something like that.
communication lesson to teach
I like that.
communications. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
accountability. Looks like
Uh-huh.
accountability to me.
people have to
Wow.
listen. But
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
seen the lack of what men are not able to do. I've definitely seen that weaponized
Uh-huh.
in my life.
Uh-huh.
But in
Uh-huh.
general, I definitely see downfalls on both sides. If it were
Uh-huh.
me that presented the subject, I would have presented it and put both of us, both male and female, on the platform at the same time, or on the stand to
Uh-huh.
speak our piece, or even be highlighted as people, two species of or whatever of color.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm sorry, male and female. Two people of color, male and female, that are dealing with the same things, because we both highlight each other. There is no. We have to take away the defense part. We have to
Yes.
take away everybody shouting whatever they can shout in just to be heard
Uh-huh.
for that moment, just to make sure
Uh-huh.
they're heard. We have all of these social platforms that are used in the most incorrect ways.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
wants to be heard, but they're talking about the wrong thing. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
if we can really
Yeah.
get, figure out how to get the discussion popping on that, I think that will open up the door,
Uh-huh.
because as a man, that's too much for me to just try to say in 30 minutes or an hour or so. I
I
would
would
Exactly.
love
love
to
to.
see
Yeah.
that. I
Mhm.
mean, I've been
Yes. Yes,
dragged.
we would.
I've been dragged for that. I've been dragged for saying we need to have a discussion. You can't bring to the table any, I hate you, you hate me, and I'm going to say the meanest thing possible. It's not productive.
Right.
It's not productive to come in, listen without anger, and listen to what's being said, because you keep your mouth shut and your ears
Thank you,
open,
Slicky. Right.
then you can get a lot of things in a better perspective, and it might even change your perception of things and give you something to
Right.
think about. That's
Mm.
all I'm saying. And I got
Kenneth
dragged for
said.
Absolutely.
that, Jamal.
Kenneth
Dragged.
said the hate is the result of conflict resolution not being administered from trauma. Understood. Um.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's a. Yeah. I mean, that's one. I mean, we just have this thing as men, whatever, that you're not supposed to have emotions and all that stuff. Like same things my mom said, but
Wow.
um nobody cares. I talk to
Wow.
like my male friends like
Hmm.
about this all the time. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if
Wow.
you're depressed. Nobody cares if you're down and out. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So
Wow.
if we can
Yeah.
start caring, and
Exactly.
maybe I'll have more to say about it. But at least
Exactly.
I'm grateful though that we're having a
Hmm.
conversation. So that
Yeah.
right now
Exactly.
is enough for me. At least people are considering what men might be feeling like, because
Hmm.
going back to what I was saying real quick about the women in your lives, the women in our lives as men,
Hmm.
um, your words matter. Okay. So watch what you say and how you say it. It's not about,
Yes.
and that's not in an authority. Let's clear the air real quick, because it's not in an authoritative, oh, I'm a man, it's a man's world. No, that's not what I'm saying. Not at all. But what I'm saying
Exactly.
is, we are more sensitive, far more than y'all are.
Yeah.
I watch
Hmm.
plenty of y'all get up and get two or three kids. Doesn't matter how many kids you have, two or three kids in the car. You got all the lunches packed. You out stand out there in your bonnet or whatever, your robe. To get your kids on the bus. So I see plenty of women, especially black
Yeah.
Yeah.
women. Let me first of all honor the black women that I see that are business owners, homeowners that I know personally.
Hmm.
Kizzy Curls, the lady that does my hair. I seen her at Wawa.
Absolutely.
I told you about that the last show or
Absolutely.
two ago.
Yeah. Shout
I'm
out
a
to
shout.
her.
Yeah, I told her I was gonna shout her out,
Hmm.
because she came into my story, and I shared it. Was talking to her, texting her, and shared the link and stuff. So I have a few people that are coming in from different areas watching. So I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
But let me highlight the black women that I know, because I know a
Absolutely.
Hmm.
lot of strong. I have all strong black women in my family. It might be a female army, it might be a female platoon behind me, but at the same time, let's not
Hmm.
forget that there's a lot of women that took and bear a lot, not just family members, but women in general that took and bear a lot that they didn't have to on behalf of a man and what he has going on.
Yeah.
So it's not just a quick conversation. There's so much to say,
It's not.
and this
It's not.
sparks such a great line of conversation, especially Wednesday and stuff like that. But um, I like that we're starting to consider what men feel like.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
important. It's so important, because we do need each other. Regardless, you get that mantra of, I don't need a man.
Wow.
Yeah,
I like to rephrase that. So I don't need a man. No, you don't need any old person in your corner. You
right,
don't need any old person that's not going to uplift you. You don't need any old person, and that's for men too, toward women. You don't need somebody that's not going to pour into you, not going to build you. If you feel bad when you're with them, then you shouldn't be with them. See what I'm saying?
right.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
but we still need each other because we thrive off of each other. We build really off of each other, and we're just really clouded. And I blame social media too in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
anybody can get a mic and say
Yes.
anything. You know what I'm
Yes.
Exactly.
saying? And
Exactly.
if they see that they can get more clicks,
Miss Ariel, how you doing?
hi, if they
Hey,
see they can get
Ari.
more clicks by bashing or something like that for entertainment purposes, that's not helping.
Yeah.
And like you had just said, knowing the contributions that people have put into their families and into society, um it comes the emotions and the hate comes from
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know the family, there's some disdain somewhere, really saying and being open about what that is. you know
Indeed.
why do I not like you? Because I know some women that don't like men, and some men that can't stand women.
Yeah.
They just
Right.
can't
Right.
stand them. They
Right.
Yeah.
they're grouped into a whole new category based on the few men or the few women that you have dealt with, and now the whole group is this or that, and that's not fair. That's not
Right.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
just, I mean, really, seriously, just for you call it clickbait, just for clicks.
You're
Miss
right.
Ariel
You
said,
Exactly.
Miss
Yes,
Exactly.
thank
Ariel
you.
said, yeah, she said, very true, Miss Shannon. That's
Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Miss
Miss
Veronica.
Ariel is a part of
Hmm.
this in support of the Galaxy of Poets. So she came in here at the same
Hey, how
time
you
as them.
doing?
So she's reoccurring. She's coming back to a show after the show she's already watched. So thank you for coming
Yeah,
back to
thank you
watch
so
Yeah.
again.
Thank you,
But
much.
Air.
yeah,
Thank you, baby.
Yeah,
accountability is the subject. That's what we're talking
yeah.
about is
Exactly.
accountability. I
Can I
was
say one
Exactly.
more thing before I land my
sure,
Yes.
plane?
Yes. Go
sure.
right ahead.
People are tired. People are just
Yeah.
tired. We
Yeah.
so we so want to love each other and get respect and build a family and do all of those things, but I do think from trauma, wherever it
Yeah.
is, and trauma don't necessarily mean that you were physically hurt or anything like that,
Not
but
at all.
Exactly.
mental trauma,
Exactly.
sometimes things can happen to you where you say, I'll never do that again.
Right.
I
Right.
tried one more
Right.
time. I tried one more time, and
Yeah.
this happened again. I'm not gonna go there
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
That type
Exactly.
of thing.
Exactly.
So let's say the accountability also is in taking accountability for yourself and your actions and how you move as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, some people hate. I've said that before, and some people hate when I said it. But you can't be upset with certain situations when you put yourself in them purposely. And I think that's where that trauma and that emotional thing comes in. I think we put ourselves in situations sometimes. I think you know what I
Yes.
mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes purposely knowing that that's not a good space for you to be, but you're there anyway. And this is where the trauma comes in. Why are you there? And it's called, I call it signing up for your own misery.
Oh
Mm,
wow. Yeah.
Purposely signing up for
mm.
your own misery. When
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying, Trayvon, Professor? When it's some crap,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
but then you
Yeah.
can't turn around and say, you can't
No,
turn
just say
around.
no
You,
and say
you
no.
can't, yeah, you can't turn around and say, well, this happened to me, or I'm going to blame that group of people, or I'm going to
Mm.
blame that group of people. When you sometimes have put yourself in a situation,
Yeah.
purposely or inadvertently, that you shouldn't have been there, and that's where your mental health protecting your mental health, you got to protect it at all costs. So you
Right.
Exactly.
can't have anybody in your life purposely try to put them over there,
Yeah.
because
You
it's
can
going
even
to be
Yeah.
subject
either
yourself to
you.
that.
It's,
Exactly.
but I think people object themselves to that sometimes because, let's just be honest, maybe they're lonely. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the person that they're used to, in a
Yeah.
relationship wise. And it could be a relationship, don't have to be romantic or not. I've noticed this. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to not have companionship, romantic companionship or friendship or whatever it is. You think maybe it would get better. All I got to do is hold on,
Yeah.
Right.
or I can change them, and that type of stuff. So that's a sense. I'll say this. That is a sense of accountability too. We can't blame
Exactly.
everybody
Yeah.
else for everything all the time. So
Right.
that's
Kenneth had
that's
a
my
comment.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Kenneth
you,
had a
Kenneth.
comment. He said, accountability has to be cultivated through a disciplined lifestyle. Yeah, that's the
Yes.
thing. It's
Exactly.
not it's not something that's taught. Either you want to get over what it is that you're going through. Everybody gets tired of being tired. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they
eventually
do.
you're gonna naturally change things because you're just tired of going through it. It could have been something that you could have been even people, for instance, with addiction of any
Mhm.
kind. I
Yeah.
mean, you could be,
Yeah.
it could be a lifestyle, you want to get out of it forever, but one thing or just one day you're just going to get tired and stop or figure
Yeah.
out how to help yourself get out that situation. So people got to want to seek out change. People don't
Yeah.
want change. And when my mom
Exactly.
Yeah.
mentioned social media,
Yeah.
that's one of those ways of being validated. So when people are
Uh-huh.
like some of those words you used,
Wow.
mommy, like lonely and they
Yeah.
don't want to be by themselves and things like that. So that's the wholeness that people don't have, that powers that be uh take advantage of,
Yeah.
aka
Yeah.
social media and these platforms where people
Uh-huh.
are getting explicit and for
Uh-huh.
validation, excuse my saying, but willing to take their clothes off for that validation. People
Yeah.
are
Exactly.
like really down to a point now where people, for just a few clicks, a few likes, a few
Yeah.
comments, or whatever, maybe
Uh-huh.
a few dollars or whatever, maybe monetary gain, they're willing
Uh-huh.
to do whatever. And
Yeah.
it's
Their
so unfortunate,
morality.
but
It
Yeah.
is.
so
It
it's,
Morality
is.
there.
yeah,
Their level of morality is really, you're absolutely right, Trey, was
Uh-huh.
and it all ties into accountability and also
yes,
our men, I believe Kenneth, thank you, Kenneth, spoke earlier on accountability at work. And the workplace
Yeah.
is like
yep,
the most subjected place, the most place where people are
Oh.
subjected to verbal abuse and
yes,
even sometimes physical abuse, but
Oh.
it starts with the verbal abuse. The
yeah,
things that I have heard and experienced from our own people of color
Uh-huh.
and others, our counterparts, that I've seen our males go through, and it's
Uh-huh.
transferred to our women. Oh my God, you're like, how do they function on a day-to-day basis? Because much of it is also, it has to do with code switching. Sometimes, people believe
Uh-huh.
that our people of color believe that they can't be themselves at the workplace, let alone be themselves among themselves. I'm
Uh-huh.
just saying that's their belief system because of factors like social media. So they'll use social media to change the morality of how things should be. They'll use
mm,
social media to fantasize about what they think it should be, because it's all
Uh-huh.
very damaging to mental health. It's
Yes.
very damaging. And then they may not even know they're traumatizing or just labeling themselves. So
Uh-huh.
at this point, we are making new history to help folks
Uh-huh.
take the labels off of themselves. And because sometimes you can become handicapped by your own labels, let alone the labels of
Yes.
society. Can you imagine
Uh-huh.
you're already being labeled, trying to
Uh-huh.
handle the labels of society, and then bathing yourself, just tagging yourself rather with
Yeah.
these labels. So it has to stop. So we're here. We're just stopping. And this is what we
Uh-huh.
do to help you. And because this is going to be ongoing, we got a gazillion more conversations. Yes, Ari, it is very damaging. Yes, Ari said, yes, mommy, is it is
Uh-huh.
damaging? Yes, my sweet. And Aries, she got a story to tell too. She got something to, she's a leader. She's another leader. Kenneth is a leader. Everybody who came through tonight, we're all leaders and followers of the truth, and once we find out the truth sets us in places of freedom is the thing. How much freedom will these conversations permit? How much? Because if people are saying that they believe they can't be themselves, and this is in reference to something called mental gymnastics. It's like mind. We said gray rocking. Gray rocking is like a mental gymnastic. It takes you. You say one thing, but you mean another.
Right.
You're not really in real time. You're just doing to manipulate the situation to get what you want, and everything relegates right back to the individual instead of the group. It's not wholesomely healing. It's nothing true or valid to it. It's just great rocking. So with the mental gymnastics comes code switching. People believe they got to behave one way at the workplace, and then when they're among their friends, they behave another way. I mean, yeah, there is different times that you behave differently, but in all those instances, you should be able to be you, to be that phenomenal you in every way, all day, every day. That's what makes you the person who you are. That's what makes you the being the creative person that you are, and it should be respected. Now, if it comes to the time where you can't be you anywhere, it's time to investigate.
Now, do you guys? I have a question. And I'll let you. I'm gonna go ahead and ask this question while you get your light together. If you're able to plug it back up or whatever. I know you're trying to probably reach for it or whatever.
Exactly.
Which is
I'm
okay.
trying to get it together.
Which is okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Just
go ahead. So go ahead. If you can reach if you can reach your light, go ahead and try to get that back on. That's all right. There we go. Look, there we go. That's what we're talking about. Give her a moment, ladies and gentlemen. She got it. It ain't no thing.
It was but, okay, my computer.
I wanted to ask y'all, do y'all think it ties to because, and I'm saying this because there's a lot of different environments you may be in, like church, like obviously your job or whatever, but do you think that only applies to people with certain professions? Because me personally, when it comes to code switching, and I'll apply this to the workplace, because there are a lot of people with, obviously, if you're a lawyer, you can't be on the, hey, turn up, and you can't, there's none of that, so certain careers come with it, but nothing's wrong with my job. For instance, I work at Wawa, so you come in here, you come and get your coffee. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir.
Right,
and that's all I need to give to you, But
shout out to
even
Wawa.
Yes, gotta have one. Apparently, that's what they say.
Exactly. Yeah.
But so I stand big on customer service. I stand big on giving and that's one thing I will say about black and brown people. One thing I try to apply. So when it comes to us having conversations, one thing I try to put out into the world, because we don't just talk about it here on this platform. We try to implement it and try to do those things and live that way. So I do treat everybody equally, but when I see, especially anyone of age, of as far as being elderly, as far as being older, significantly older than me, possibly, I'm going to give y'all extra customer service. And it's even been so much so that people have kind of side-eyed. And I had to say out, and because I'm one of those people, I'm going to say, what's up? It might make people uncomfortable. It might make people, oh, I can't believe he said that. Yeah, well, everybody's thinking it, so let me say it for you. But I said, what are the stairs for? I said it loud enough for the, black ladies in front of me to hear it, but I had people turn around and kind of look like, you're giving them all of this, and we're not getting that type of reception. Well, it's not, anything personal, but one thing I try to do when I'm out is when I see anybody, come on in, yes sir, yes ma'am, blah 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 blah. So let's try to live that, is my point. Exactly. Let's try to, wherever you are, and then that's why I asked the question, do you think it ties to career? Because I don't have to. I am, myself, and that's my ability only because of the career I had. Because like I said, if you was a lawyer or a doctor, you can't be out there, who's your mama? You can't. That's not. You can't do that. You know what I mean?
Trayvon, that's the first time I've ever heard a word. You know how I am. I'll go look up anything in a minute so I can quickly understand what code switching is. But from my understanding of what was said, it is, changing masks. That's what it sounds like, changing masks at any given time, but doing
Your
it so much
dialect
so,
and
your dialect. Now you, of course, just like you said, if you're a lawyer and you're in a certain environment, your image is everything, and you can't show your. I mean, just like when you have social media, certain jobs that you have, it may not be a good look for them to see you doing certain things.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Because jobs, because jobs do now check your social media as part of your character. But
Yes.
I can say, if I have the definition right, being on a job and being in government, for so long, as long as I did, there was definitely a lot of, what do you call it, code switching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of code switching that I know that I did, because I was under that impression that when in Rome, do as the Romans do,
Yeah.
and this is what you did to get by.
Right.
And it's a very, and then there's discrimination and everything
Right.
within the job. And the one thing, I hate to say it, but I'm going to be very, very honest. I would say the worst thing regarding that I have seen is my own folks. The worst time that I had in that corporate setting was, and who weren't encouraging, who, the list goes on, you know what I mean, was my own people.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I had to watch out for. But getting back to code switching, that is just,
Hey, mommy.
I think that can be, look, I had to take a breath. That can be just as exhausting to keep that facade and sometimes up, and then whatever you're doing and whatever's going on, for you to progress. And I'm telling you what I've seen too.
Yeah.
For you to progress, you switch that code like switching a shirt.
Hey, mommy.
Like
Remember when I used to work in DC, and I called your phone at work. I called your work desk phone.
I sure did.
Look, because look, we all know black moms, so it go from, hey, you need to get that up. Hey, get that up. From, hello, my name is Shannon Grace Chappelle. How can I help you?
That's how you do it.
That's what you gotta do. Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Exactly. Yeah.
You on the phone and you may be talking to your coworkers, but yeah, girl, when I went around here, boy.
Right.
Ring, ring, ring.
Right.
Yes.
Hello.
Just stop it. Hello. Just stop it.
Oh, yes. Of course. Yes, sir. Not a problem.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Right.
You can make an appointment with the Grand Queen.
Right.
She's available on Thursday. Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely. Click up, girl.
Exactly. Exactly. How about get a call from school? How about get a call from school from one of the kids' teachers? And you're at the workplace and they're like, oh, hello, may I speak with Mrs. Williams about her son? And you're like, what?
Right.
Right away, that code changes. So yeah, so it is right. He did what? Like, I'll be there in a second. Or however the arrangements are. Yeah, it is. The art of code switching. It is an art to it, and you do have to adapt to certain things. However, we want to just be able to be who we are, weirdly wired, wired wonderfully, and all of that, without damaging one another and without damaging ourselves as a person. We are still humans, and we tie into each other's lives so much. And this is not the end of this conversation. This is tight.
I would love to tie back into
broad.
this. Let's break it down into subjects. Let's break it down into smaller subjects, and I feel like we'll be able to attack it in its entirety.
Exactly. We coming back in the subtopic with this one here, because tonight is not enough.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of layers to this. Absolutely. It's
one
thing.
Yes.
One thing that I had to throw out there before we, because I know we all see that time and we're very conscious on our time, but
yes, we are.
One thing I wanted to throw out really quickly is just stop a disclaimer. This information in this video is not intended nor implied to be substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content is to be considered advice, and we are mental health advocates, not medical advisor. So take that as you take it, but that's our friendly disclaimer before we close out.
Exactly, exactly. Whoever catches it.
Whoever catches it.
Whoever catches it. So we
thank you for those that stopped by.
Exactly. You came by and we thank you for that and the support. And we hope that, listen, when you guys come back, bring some more, information, links of support and more, so we can get through this, because it is super damaging. But we are here, I have to say, to try to find out. Tonight we found out there's so many variables for women to disrespect and harm our men, and for men at the same time. But we must learn to protect each other. We must learn what is the art of protecting each other. As we are learning the art of code switching, we got to learn how to protect each other and get to it, get with it, and get through it. Until next week. And also, don't forget the pit stop this Wednesday. Listen, we gonna be about it at the pit stop this Wednesday night. And next Sunday, we gonna bring some more to the table of Just Stop It. So listen, have the best rest of your Black History Day. Keep making history. We look forward to sharing new history with you. Peace, love, and joy.
Hey, one thing I want to do real quick, I'm going to shout out Kenneth Clark. I want to shout out Ariel Glenn. I want to shout out DJ Slicky Boo Boo. I also want to shout out Miss Michelle Pucciarelli, one of my comedian friends. Please check her out. Look her up on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to thank y'all just for stopping by. Like I said, I would love to touch back into the subject in smaller segments, because in order for us to really dissect and tag certain subjects, we have to break it down in pieces, just like you would if you were to dissect the frog. Small pieces to really understand everything that's happening inside.
Exactly. This is a real meal. Yeah, this is a real meal here. We got to do it in parts. Yep. Absolutely.
Indeed. A shout out to who?
I would love to give a shout out to my sister, Miss Kimberly McCants, wishing her a happy birthday. And
happy birthday to her. Happy birthday. It's my Aunt Kim's birthday today.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Aunt Kim. Wow.
Thank you for doing what you do and what you've been to a lot of us. And the person that you are, we appreciate you, we love you, and we are wishing you a happy birthday from our family and your friends and everything. So thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy your birthday month. Absolutely. We love you. Absolutely. Yes. We love you all like no other.
Hey, I can't forget February 20th. I will be 30 years old. Shout out to that day. So we are both February. I love that I share February. Not only it being Black History Month, but I love that I share that. She's an Aquarius, I'm a Pisces, but I love that we share that February month together. So
February month,
absolutely. We gotta keep up with birthdays and things. We gotta be keeping up with birthdays. This is the February month, the month of love, and share that love to our February birthday babies. Also, Ariel is February birthday, and Joey, Mickey. From
Mr. Victor?
Yeah, Mr. Victor, I believe so. And Joe is also February. So all the February folks come through. We want to celebrate you as well. We want to celebrate you guys. This is a very special month for you guys. We want to celebrate every birthday month we get to share together, because that's a celebration of life. And Trayvon, this is phenomenal. And
Trayvon, we will give you but when the 20th approaches, or on the 20th, however it falls, we will properly wish you a happy birthday closer up to that day.
Yes, we will.
So don't think that you've been forgotten, because February birthday.
Exactly.
I was there, so.
Yes, you were.
But at the same time now.
Thank you, Shannon.
Look, thank you, Mommy. But at the same time, what's that song called? I Got the Power. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to put myself on the slide in the beginning.
I don't blame you.
Yes, now we're going to party. We're going to party up in here.
It's like, nah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Don't think that you're going to be.
So good.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I'll just play
February
with y'all.
25th. Absolutely. February 25th is Aries, and February 18th.
So she's another Pisces. Okay.
Yeah, and February 18th is
Pisces.
Joe. Absolutely, absolutely. So we got
okay, so he's an Aquarius, like my aunt. Okay, he's Aquarius. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and my sister. And my sister, next to me is her birthday too, February. That's right. We got a lot going. We got a lot of partying to do. That is so good. It's good. It's party time.
That's all right. We're gonna come back around and we're gonna wish these folks a happy birthday.
Yes, we are. We're gonna do a little partying. We're gonna have a little something going each Sunday.
Yeah,
in the background. We need to do something. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do something here at JTI, right, guys?
Yes.
That part.
Yeah, we need to do something. Yeah, we gotta do something here in the background and keep celebrating. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
All right. So it's good. We're excited. All right now. So all right, JTI fam. Love you much.
Right.
And until we meet again, it's all good.
Right.
Just stop it. And we keep putting it down. We keep advocating for good mental health. Love you.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. See y'all later. Bye.
See you later. Till next time.
All right. Bye, mommy. Bye, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for watching.